Hey, this is Gabriel from the Village Folk. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about playing mandolin for violin players. And this comes from a response that I got in my last video about playing violin for mandolin players. A comment came from Michelle, which asked to elaborate on the right hand technique and a little bit about resting your arm and just some of the right hand technique that is required for mandolin. And I'm going to address this question in relation to violinists and how violinists move their arms and hands. And for those of you that are new, see how this works? Early commenters get their questions answered and might even get a whole custom video. So like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, ask questions, and we'll see what I can do for you. So let's start by talking purely about the right hand. In violin, we want our right hand to move supplely and smoothly, flexibly, and not stiff, right? A stiff arm will give a chunky amateur sound to our playing, and that's very similar for mandolin. We want to be able to have a light, loose wrist. So first, just the ability to move the hand like this, independent of the forearm, instead of the whole arm going like this. If you play with a very stiff forearm and a stiff grip, you're going to get a lot of volume and not a lot of touch. So for your mandolin pick, I would suggest a nice large mandolin pick. I have this one here. It's a Golden Gate. It's about $1. There's some very nice blue chip ones as well that are really nice. This has a little bit of a rounded edge. It makes tremolos and fast picking pretty easy. The way my right hand lies across the mandolin strings is such that my thumb is pointed towards the headstock. So if I slip my pick in with my thumb such that the pick is coming out the side of my thumb, that'll put it in a perfect picking position. I compare the pick grip for mandolin and guitar to writing with a pen or pencil. If you hold the pen or pencil at the very end, you're not going to get very good control. Likewise with the pick, if you're too out towards the end, and a lot of people hold it like it's a dead fish, just out towards the very end, you don't have control to be able to hit the notes you want to hit. So you want to bury it a little bit into your hand, and that'll give you the ability to hit exactly the right strings that you want to hit. However, you don't want to hold it so tightly that you lose the ability to play with flexibility and suppleness. I tend to rest my forearm against the instrument and keep my wrist relatively straight. If you bend your wrist in like this or out like this, you're going to get some carpal tunnel in a hurry. Ideally, you want to have a fairly straight wrist, but a lot of flexibility in the hand. For starters, just strumming a chord using all downstrokes. If you go back to your early violin, maybe you remember the rhythm running, running, walk, walk. Don't be afraid to be a little bit sloppy at first. A lot of my students at the very beginning stages will try and play a tune, and anytime they hit the wrong string, they just stop and then restart. Might get something like this. In a way, don't worry about it. Just try and keep moving. Keep moving the right hand. Stay loose. Even if you hit some wrong strings. Once you have a lighter, looser feel with the right hand, you can zero in on the specific string that you want to hit. And there are some great exercises for this, such as playing all eighth notes and then targeting one of the other strings. So I'm going to start with all eighth notes on the G, notice the pick is coming out at the side of my thumb, and I'm striking through both strings of the G at the same time. Any anchoring that I'm getting is from my forearm against the instrument and not my palm against the bridge. Same thing on the D string. Switch strings, go to A. E. Back to A. D. Starting from the D string in this exercise, I can go to the other strings. I'm going to play straight eighth notes on the D string, and then on the one of each measure, we're going to count in 4 here, I'm going to play one of the other strings. I'm going to go for the A. 1, 2, ready, go. D. A, back to D. A, back to D. You can do this on the G to D, G to A, G to E, any of the combinations of your 4 courses. Remember not to be too stiff with the right hand, or else you're going to get something like this. With a stiff right hand and right forearm, the notes will be a lot louder in a bad way. You can get some buzzes and the inability to control. Light and loose, but not slower. So let's slow down the picking and play a half scale. So I'm going to play this half scale on D, using all downstrokes. And then I'm going to add an upstroke on the A between each of the notes. To bring this back around to what this channel typically discusses, let's talk about bluegrass a little bit. And let's go to the bluegrass shuffle. So in a tune like Boil Them Cabbage Down, which you can find a link to right here, this is just a slow version of it that you can play along with. There is a very typical pattern for the right hand. And this is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So we can either play this straight, or with a little bit of swing, especially if you play it a little bit quicker. You could do this pattern in a scale, so I'm going to do down, down, up on each note. And with this shuffle pattern, you could play 2 strings at once. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas that you can use in your journey into starting to play or improving your mandolin playing.